Good evening, everyone. Happy Monday. Thank you so much for joining us on our SheEO Live. First day of Business Week in the SheEO District, and we are very excited. Still coming off of a great Super Bowl weekend. I hope everyone had a great weekend. I know we had friends and family over yesterday, had an amazing time. So do me a favor, y'all know the drill. Go ahead and like this broadcast and go ahead and share it with your friends, any networks or groups that you are associated with. We have a special treat for you all on tonight. I know you all are used to seeing me now on Wednesdays, but I had to make a special appearance because I got my hometown, my homegirl, my homegirl from my hometown in the building. So we'll take 30 seconds and I'm going to do the same. So go ahead and like this broadcast and go ahead and share it with your friends, and we will meet you right back here now in 20 seconds. Thank you so much for tuning in with us. Hope everyone's staying warm out there. And we will get started here in just a second. Y'all got such a great story. Such a great story on tonight. One more place and we'll get started. All right. So again, thank you all for joining. Tonight we have Miss Whitney Washington Powers. She's married. Y'all been married, what, 2 or 3 years now?
I don't know. It's 2 years. It's been a long time. No,
right,
it's been 2 years.
Forever, right? We're gonna say she's a newlywed, right? Say she's a newlywed, right? So we have Miss Whitney Powers here with us tonight. Again, y'all. Again, now I got to put out another. I always have to put out this because when I went family, right? Because we just gonna get on here and cut up. So it's not gonna be. If you're looking for formal, keep scrolling because it's probably not gonna be the night for that. Okay. Tonight, right? So. I'm going to read Miss Whitney's bio real quick, and then we're going to just hop right into it and let's have some girl time and some conversation. So Garden Girl Foods has quickly become one of the best business ideas I ever had. Leveraging my culinary arts degree, my husband's business degree, and my family's lifelong business strategies is a recipe for guaranteed success. After working as a restaurant general manager for over 11 years in a high volume business, I learned how to walk the line concerning thin profit margins. Garden Girl Foods focuses on getting restaurant quality product into the consumer's hands with limited interference along the way. Our business strategies include serving neighbors that are considered food desserts. We grow the food we package in the neighborhoods for all to see and to learn. From working my family's farm as a child to opening 7 corporate Starbucks stores to managing high volume restaurants, everything has prepared me for this moment in my life. All local, all love. So we have Miss Whitney Powers, the owner of Garden Girl Foods Incorporated. Welcome, Miss Whitney. So, where do we start? So first, we'll just, I love to ask, our bio is our bio. Of course, we write something that we think sounds good. But really, really quick, tell me really, who is Miss Whitney Powers? Like, who are you?
So really, I am the girl from the country who has just thrived. Right. Who has taken everything that I've learned and applied it in my everyday life. And with just a little bit of prayer on top of that, it's propelled me, to where I am now and where I'm going. So really, I'm just simple. I'm not doing anything that no one else could have done, but it was just me. And so it was just for me to do it. And so that's who I am. I'm just walking in the purpose that's been given to me.
Yeah. So, I think we'll just start in the middle real quick, just to kind of do a teaser, and then we'll take it back, because we got to take it back, because this started way back, right?
Oh yes, way back.
So when we think of African Americans, we think of Black girls. We don't think of gardening. Like, that's. I'm not saying it's not what we do, but it's not the norm. We'll just say that, right? We all need to start to, get in the mindset of growing our own food, but it's just not something that we do as a culture. That's not on the forefront of our mind. And so I'm placing that there. I'm going to put a pin there, and I'm going to take it back, because again, Whitney and I are from the same hometown of Springfield, Tennessee, and I am a friend of my best friend, and one of my best friends growing up, my childhood friends. I was literally at her family's house the majority, of the time growing up, and we would go to Whitney's grandmother's house, which was referred to as down home, and I could 101% guarantee that when I walked through that door, I was going to eat.
And you're probably eating something that they grew. Probably.
So, like, good food, fresh. It's just, I know it's just embedded in it. It's that she comes from a big family, and I'll let her tell her story. But food has just been a part of a way of life for your family. Like, that's just it. And so I put a pin there in the middle, but take it all the way back and tell me how really Garden Girls food really got started.
Okay, so we gonna take it all the way back. Yes. Kenny's Road, the bottom. Is right, all the way back. So everybody knows that my great grandparents, they were farmers. My great grandfather was a farmer. His grandmother helped him. All my grandparents, they didn't have a choice. They worked the land. I worked the land. Everybody worked the land. But taking it all the way back to the bottom, where we learned that men don't work, men don't eat. Where my granddaddy taught all of us that it was simple. It was literally that simple. Like, we had to raise this food because grandma had so many kids, and we, we have this big family, and we just got to raise our food, and we have to, take care of it so we can eat. So going back to the bottom, it was instilled in us this work ethic. From raising watermelon. So everybody in my family, they have their own little thing about what their job was. One of my job was to put the watermelon on the truck. Now, Granddaddy said it's because I was tall. It would have been easier if I was short. So I don't know why I got that job, but that was my little job. And so carrying those watermelons, literally still to this day, I can just remember it being so hard. Like, I was so small and so hard, and it has prepared me, even in this moment, because this is heavy. I mean, everything I'm doing is heavy, and so what am I trying to say here, Kellye? The magnitude of what I'm doing. We've always taken our vegetables and we took them to market and we sold them. And everybody knows my family can cook, so we sell food. We do it as fundraisers at church to this day. My mom has a catering company. We do that. Everybody knows we do all of these things, but transferring all of that over into woman-owned, Black-owned food manufacturer. That's what I'm becoming. I'm no longer just a restaurant. I'm no longer just the girl from the country selling vegetables off the truck. The weight of carrying that watermelon, now I will carry that as being the next Campbell Soup Company. So that's the weight of those watermelons all the way back from my family, because we just worked the land we were given. And so I don't know what generation I am, third generation. I'm looking at my husband like, hope he gonna tell me. Fourth generation, of growing things and selling things. I'm just doing it in a new way.
Yeah. Man, that's a look. You said the bottom. It took me like all the way back. I'm like, wow.
Bottom.
Wow. But you know what, Whitney? You talk about legacy. That's what it's all about. You know what I mean? Your grandparents did what they could with what they could and the information that they had to do it with, right? And did it to the best of their ability. That's excellence, right? And including, we always talk about, in the SheEO district, is making sure that we are involving our family with what we're doing. Make it a family affair, right? So no one, feels slighted as far as your time, because you know how it is. We can get consumed and wrapped up in what we're doing like all day, and we go all day. We haven't even like had a conversation with our children, right? But if we include our children in what we're doing, it makes them not feel so left out, and they're part of that success. Like I had a hand in that, and I'm sure that's was part of your grandparents' thought process. Is we're gonna make this a family affair, because right now at that time, like they are establishing legacy, because here you are today, 2021, and with your own, of course, you're on another level with it, but it's still, you're working in excellence. They worked in excellence, because that was it's no Whitney today without them,
Oh
back
no,
in the day.
it's no Whitney without them and with all of the other people in between there.
Yes.
So, without my grandparents, my grandmother. So
Mm-hmm.
when I say my grandparents, those are actually my great grandparents. But without
Okay.
my actual grandmother and all of her siblings, that's where it really hits home for me.
Yeah.
Like yes, I was out there with my great grandmother and my great granddaddy, but my actual granny and her sister Patty, and Jimmy, those are the people who were standing literally right beside me to this day saying, well, do it. Like, and they're still, they're
Yeah.
still doing stuff. They're all older and
Yeah.
they're still doing stuff right
Yes.
now.
Yes.
And they're still working on always leaving that legacy. So I'm just thankful that they instilled enough work ethic in me, so that I can help create more legacy too. Although they've already left a lot, they don't realize how much they've left. But
Yeah.
it's already been a lot. But I'm gonna take it on home though. I'm gonna bring it on home for
Knock
everybody.
it on at the park real quick.
Yeah, we going all way. We going to the ship.
Okay. Now I gotta ask. So you, okay, we're both from Springfield. So how did you end up not end up, but how did you, get to Louisville, to call Louisville
Louisville.
home now?
My husband is from Louisville.
Okay.
He was born and raised here, always been here. So I met him in college in Owensboro, Kentucky. And so even when we were dating, I was still at home. I was still in Springfield, Tennessee. And so it was just easier for me. I thought, well, I cook for a living. I can cook anywhere. So he already had a good job. And so I moved to Louisville instead of him moving to Tennessee, which actually really sucked for a long time. Like I really did not like it here. Like people here are strange. Like it's just weird. It's just like I don't know about this. But it is what it is. And now I do understand why I'm here, because actually here we live right downtown Louisville. Actually live in a food desert. I had to tell him that when I moved here, because being from the country, we grow our own food. There's always access to fresh food here. There's no fresh food. Most people live a mile or two from a good grocery store to get
Wow.
fresh stuff. So it's been a problem the whole time I've been living here. And so when COVID came, it just exacerbated that problem that already existed. And
Mm-hmm.
so living in inner city now, but being from the country, knowing that people love fresh food, knowing that people love cans of green beans and tomatoes or whatever, it was an easy sell. Because I'm like, hey y'all, look, whatever, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, I'll give you $100. Like, no, not really.
Wow. Yeah.
No, my husband bothered me out, but. But yeah, so I mean, it's been an easy sale and it's been an easy transition now. But I'm grateful that I did leave my hometown for lots of reasons, but most importantly, so that I could come into my own. And I'm grateful for picking up those heavy watermelons back in the day. I'm grateful for the work ethic that they instilled in me. All that's led up to now.
Absolutely. So now I guess we can kind of pick up, we have the backstory. So now we can kind of pick up as to, what led you to open or start Garden Girls Food. And I know, we were having a conversation before the broadcast that you literally, started this business during a pandemic, and you are thriving in it.
Yes.
Right. So talk a little bit about that and what led up to you, actually starting a business. I'm sure, maybe it was something you were doing as a hobby or just had the ability to do. So what made you make that transition from that to starting a business?
Well, if anybody knows me, they know I don't do well with like following people who don't know where they're going, which is like the core of any entrepreneur. So I'm always constantly figuring out how to make money for myself. But during COVID, um, we were just about to relaunch our catering company, Penelope Party. And so I had it all laid out. I was like, "Ooh, we got to do this!" Like, "Ooh, mom, this is gonna be so beautiful. This is gonna be great." And then COVID came, so it was like, "Nope, nobody has no parties, girl."
Right.
So now what? So I was like, okay. So being a farmer from a farming family and being from food, I was just like, well, we're gonna start a garden, not to sell anything, just to kill time and so I can get my daughter outside. We can't stay in the house this many hours a day. And after I started the garden, I was like, okay, now I'm gonna go buy a deep freezer. No deep freezers. Still haven't got the deep freezer that I ordered last year.
Oh
Still
wow.
not here yet to this year. So
Wow.
I was like, I don't know what to do with this stuff. And I actually called my granny. And she said she don't remember this conversation, which whatever. But I was like, Granny, I don't know what to do with this stuff. And she was like, you can can it. And I was like, no, Granny, like this is like a lot of stuff. Like it's a whole lot. And she was like, well, you ain't got nothing but time. And I was like, I guess so. I guess you're right. So, like, where we
Right.
so I started reading books from all my culinary school books, and I started just doing all this research. I took an online course. I signed up for more online courses at the University of Kentucky, and I just started gearing up to safely be able to can this stuff, not to sell it, just because I didn't want to kill my family.
Wow.
Uh, and so, because people can die from botulism. And
Hmm.
so, once I got all this knowledge, I was like, okay, great. So I'm just gonna fill up my basement. And so that's what we did. We ordered shelves off Amazon and we filled up our basement. And I was like, cool, we're done. That's it. It's the project complete. And people started asking to purchase it because there was no food at the store. And they knew that I had this food because I was on Facebook, like, y'all, look, I got these bags over
I know you
here.
got it.
So they know it's over here. So I started selling it. I sold a few, and then I was like, "Baby, let's try to go to the farmers market and sell some." And the first week we sold out, and the second week we sold out, and then the third week we didn't go because I had nothing to sell. And so the people from the market actually called me, and they were like, "Where are you?" And I was like, "I have no jars." And they were like, "Well, you need to get some. There's people up there asking for you." And
Wow.
so I was like, "All right, cool." And in like a month's time, my brother came to live with me. We started making jars. Like we made thousands of jars. We opened up the storefront in the market and we started selling jars. And by Christmas, we had sold almost right over 8,000 jars. Um, and so, that's a lot of jars for three people to
Wow.
make. And so then I made the decision at Christmas. I said, okay, guys, this is going to be our real business. We're going to really do this. We're going to be in grocery stores. We're going to be a food manufacturing company. This is what we're going to do. And we're going to leave the market. We're going to open our own storefront, which is set to open March 1st. So I
Wow.
will be supplying local grocery stores. Actually, that starts this Friday. I'll be in my first
Go
grocery
ahead, Whitney. Come on.
so, it's just sometimes you just do it. Like my granny said, you ain't got enough time. Just do
That,
it.
that one little phrase. It's
And
the
one
one
more
phrase.
time. That's it. Ain't got enough time. So
Wow.
COVID helped slow me down to speed me up. And
Hmm.
I think a lot of times we get carried away and like, oh, I need this and I need this. I just needed something to do.
Wow.
So y'all get started. Y'all ain't got enough time.
Right. That is amazing. So you were just kind of thrust into business, like
Oh
not
yeah.
even like thinking about it. Like you had the demand was already there.
Well, people gonna eat. I
Yeah.
mean, now that's one thing we gonna do. We gonna
Right.
eat. As,
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
being inner city, offering fried corn, which people
Mm.
know what that was really here. So we take it off the cob, we cream it, and we fry it in bacon grease, and I put it back into this jar. Um, that's a product that if you're not from a certain part of the South, you don't even have access.
Right.
You take that and blackberry jam, and then you start baking biscuits and selling the biscuits and the jam. It's like, yeah, we gonna eat anyway.
Right.
This is better.
Wow. Wow. Man, that everything, just even from your location to where you live, all worked out for your good. So God was setting you up this whole time for this moment now.
He's still setting me up. So, this is like I said, I didn't when I first got here, I didn't like it here that much. I was just like, this sucks. But now I'm finding different reasons to like it here, to be in a city as a food manufacturer, and I want to ship out my goods to different places. Louisville is the perfect hub. That's why UPS and FedEx love it here.
Yeah.
We're right in the middle of this triangle. So I'm in a wonderful spot. I'm in a food desert. There's no good food here.
Mm-hmm.
We have lots of Black and brown farmers here who grow on a small scale with no one to sell their stuff to. And they got somebody to buy it. So I don't even have to farm anymore. Look at God. Look at grandmother looking out for me and everything. Because I didn't want to pick up no watermelons.
No more watermelons.
So now I ain't even got to pick up my own watermelons no more. I got other stuff to do. I can't be carrying watermelons to the truck all summer this year. So I ain't got to do that. I have other people that I can support right here, inner city. And so their business is going to thrive. My business is going to thrive. People are going to have access to fresh, good food. It's just a win-win for everybody all around.
Yeah. So we got to talk about it because I wanted to know how, if you incorporated, what you do with your weight loss journey. So for those that don't know Whitney, which is probably the majority of you all watching, Whitney has lost, how much weight did you lose total, Whitney?
I have lost right over 200 pounds in the last 4 years.
Just unbelievable. Wow.
Yeah, so basically half me. So most people didn't even realize I had gotten that big. I guess I just carried it well. But at my highest weight, I was, I think, 388.
No way!
I know. Everyone's like, there's no way. I don't see when. It's like, when did you do that? But at some point, I was 388. Today, I'm 182. So, But
okay, you gotta forget business week. We're finna go back to health week, okay? Health week plus, extended. But tell us about that journey. And did you incorporate, your fresh, love of fresh foods, or did you incorporate that into your weight loss journey at all?
So, yeah, obviously I didn't have a choice. So I did have weight loss surgery. But before I had weight loss surgery, I had already lost 100 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And literally, because you have to, that's part of the requirement to get the surgery. But for me, it was as simple as eating what grows when it grows. And so that also helped spark Garden Girl Foods, because if you think about it, the natural way that people used to eat is they ate what was available when it was available, and then they didn't eat no more. So they didn't eat ice cream all year. They didn't eat strawberries all year. They didn't eat they ate certain things. That was it. And so I started really focusing in on the season of when stuff grew and just eating it during that season. And so the first 100 pounds actually came out pretty easy. Because if you only eat blackberries for the 6 weeks out of the year if they grow, then you have to worry about staying up all night eating no blackberry pie because you ain't got
no blackberries.
So that was easy. Just eating things that were available. And then even after I had the weight loss surgery, because I had already gotten into the process or gotten into the mindset of I'm only going to eat these things when they're grown, it just carried on. It was just simple. So I always challenge people just to do that, to go to the farmer's market and not to the grocery store, because you're going to get some GMO stuff. They can make that stuff grow. They can make strawberries grow in the dead of winter. So not to the grocery store, but to your local market or to Whole Foods. And whatever's available, buy that and cook that and eat that and watch, don't you lose weight.
Wow. Well,
but that's very hard. I know people
I need to write that down. Okay. I need to write that down. So let's talk about this canning process. It's always been something that's so interesting to me. And I know it's a technique because, like you said, if done wrong, it can be detrimental to, the person eating it. So talk about some of the dispel some of the myths behind canning, because I've heard a lot of things, but I don't. Yeah, you know what I mean. So just kind of talk about canning and kind of dispel some of the myths of canning.
So the number one myth is that it's gonna be so hard and I'm gonna blow myself up. Like you're not gonna blow yourself up because they done made the canner where you ain't gonna blow yourself up because you're not about to be suing them. So no, you're not gonna do that. But there are different types of canning. There's pickling, so that's where you use a bunch of acid to preserve something. Then there's water bath canning, which is what most people's grandmother did. They just put the jar in the water, boiled it for a long time, and took it out. And then there's pressure canning, which is what I do. In a pressure can method, so that's where you take the jar, you put the lid on it, you put it in a canner, and it cooks under a certain amount of pressure for a certain amount of time, and it makes it shelf stable. So that's the three different kinds of canning that you can have. Pressure canning is the most tedious, but it also is the process where you get stuff like fried corn, or where you get stuff like chili in a jar, or loaded potato soup. So all of those things are very alkaline in nature, and you don't want to add acid to them because who wants potatoes with lemon juice in them? That's gonna be nasty.
Yeah.
so that's the way we do that. But I do teach canning classes for anyone who wants to learn. I tried to do it via Zoom. It kind of worked. It kind of don't work. Because some people just need to touch it. But yeah, I do teach a canning course from beginning to end. I actually have written a book. So when I first started all this canning, just as a thing for myself, I just started writing. And so now I've written an entire manual. And so whenever you take my course, I give you that manual, which is life saving. And it is the things that you can't Google. So, because when I started canning, my great grandmother had already passed, so there wasn't anyone to just like pick up the phone and call. Like I just had to talk to her in spirit, like grandmama girl, they come see about this girl.
How on the ancestors?
Hey, child one day I said, grandmama girl, they come see about this. But I've taken the things that I did learn from her and the things that I've learned from other canners along the way, and I have put them in print. And so people can buy that from me, or they can take my course and it comes with it. But that will help you along the way, because I don't want y'all out here killing y'all family now. Because
so talk about that. Like, what can happen if canning is done incorrectly?
So incorrectly, if you don't have the right amount of acid or too much bacteria, you can actually get botulism. And people think that it's not very rampant. There are not a ton of cases of it within the last like 20 years. But 20 years ago, when people really were canning, lots and lots of people would die. Because you can't see it, you can't smell it, and you can't taste it. So once it's in there, and you can't kill it off with heat once it gets to a certain point. So once it's in there, people make their sauce, they spaghetti sauce, and then they make a whole lot of it, and they're so proud of it, and then they take it to church and give it out in church because that's where we all be. That's
like the whole church.
And then they gave it to everybody, and now people are really, really ill. I mean, really ill, and they're probably gonna say you die from COVID if you get it. So they probably ain't gonna say they ain't got time. They just gonna put that on there. So, so let's not do that.
Look, I ain't spaghetti at the church now. I got COVID. What?
That's what they gonna say. It really was botulism the whole
time. Listen, but so how long is the shelf life of, or is it depending on what it is? Like, what are some of the shelf lives of?
So the shelf life for most products are about 2 years. That is part of the state of Kentucky.
Oh,
so
wow.
Now I have jam in my cabinet that I made with my grandmother in '97. So, and actually plan on using it when I make a jam cake this Christmas. So
Wow.
it's really in the jar and it's in there good. Like I always have jars by me. Once it's in there, I mean, it ain't coming out. Like you can take that off and this is on there. Like that's not gonna come off. So it's safe until.
So how do you take it off when you after purchase?
Sorry, I always forget people don't know. So you would take like a wine opener, like you know the thing that pops, the bottle opener, and you just and it'll just pop a lid. And so, and at that point, it's open. And if you want to put it back in the fridge, that's the only reason we keep these. Okay. But actually, I tell people if they buy a bunch of jars from me, because some people do, they think the world is ending, and we hope it ain't. But in case it do, they're getting these jars. If they take them home when they're on the shelf, you can just take this off and just leave it. You don't really need this. This serves no purpose other than to put the lid back into the refrigerator, put it on and put it in the refrigerator.
So what's that you have? What is that?
Oh, this is tomato juice. So this will make some really good vegetable soup. And that's just the way it naturally separates, whenever it's sitting. But we make all kinds of products. We do collard greens with smoked turkey. These are green beans and they're completely already seasoned. We do all types of jam and jelly. These are just like stewed tomatoes. So they're good for chili or something. But yeah, we have ready to go products like bean soup. Like I said, I have collard greens with smoked turkey and fried corn, jams, jellies. I make something called Derby butter because I know I'm in Louisville with the Derby. So it is bourbon, chocolate, and walnuts. It's like Derby pie. We eat it on cookies. So like it's not, I know, right? So it's not all tomato juice and beans. Like other stuff. Don't nobody want to eat no tomatoes.
Now you're talking my language. You was losing me, honey, with the green beans, and I'm just kidding. Look, now I'm like, huh?
You're right, but we got bourbon, we got chocolate. We got bourbon and chocolate, girl.
Wow. That sounds amazing. Now, I'm sure, are you like part of like canning community? You know how like when you're into certain things, like you just kind of naturally gravitate towards, the people who are into the same things. Is there like a canning or like community that you're involved in?
Secret old lady affiliation. Is that what you think it is? That's what most people think. It's like a secret group of old ladies. Actually, no. People find me though. So I am a part of several local grocery initiatives, a part of several farming initiatives or groups. And there is one lady, she actually tried to do exactly what I'm doing about 40 years ago. And so I won't say her name because she always likes for me to not say it. But anyway, she tried to do exactly what I'm doing, and the city shut her down. Would not let her sell her stuff, pretty much just because she was Black. There was no other reason. And so she has been able to give me pointers in the right direction to make my products consistent. Things that there's no manual, things that you just have to do it for 50 years. And so she's able, I can give her a product that ain't quite right, and she can tell me, oh, it's because of this, and I can do it, and it's perfect. And so I actually owe her a lot because she has saved me time. She's made me be able to go to grocery stores now, and I know that the product that I give them today is the same product that they're going to get a year from now, 2 years from now, whatever, because someone else has tested it. It's tried and true.
Yeah. Wow. I know, Ilyasa just commenting on the comment that's on the screen now. I know that she lives in New York. She's one of our senior leaders here at the SheEO district. And I know that she grows her own foods and herbs and things like that. And so that's always been something that I've wanted to do. We don't have a fence. That's something, a privacy fence. So that's something we're going to do, this year. But I tell my husband, like, when we do, like, that's one of the things that I'm very excited about. I want to do a container garden.
Yeah.
So what are some of the like plus and minuses, or does it matter that it's not actually, in the ground?
No, it doesn't matter. I've seen people in inner city spaces literally use an old dresser on a patio and take the drawers and make literally full big tomato plants out of dresser drawers. Like that's all the space you need. So I mean, if you have 5 or 6 inches, that's deep enough.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't need, to go out and spend, hundreds or thousands of dollars trying to make this garden. Like literally just use what you got. So, if you have a few buckets, literally some 5-gallon buckets, 2 or 3 of them, you can just grow right there, right on the front porch. Now it might not look the nicest, your neighbors might be like, oh Lord, she got to get that out there. She got look at all the stuff she got out here. But you can plant from anything. Like I said, you need about 6 inches of depth. So if you have that much depth, you might not get the nicest looking cucumbers because they didn't have as much space or whatever, but you'll get food that's edible and safe.
Right. So what are some of the things you like to garden yourself?
So last year we grew tomatoes, baby watermelon, not big fat ones that was too heavy to carry. Tomatoes, cucumbers, blueberries, but we didn't get none because the birds ate all the blueberries. And they ate all the strawberries. I only got 3 strawberries the whole season, just being real. Daniel, he's like, I didn't get none. He didn't get none. Cauliflower, which I love, cheddar colored cauliflower, collard greens, and I'm sure we grew some more. I know we grew more than that, but my favorite thing to grow is collard greens because who don't like to eat greens?
Right.
They're really cheap, and they flourish over and over and over. So when you harvest them, you cut the leaves off versus pull the root out, and they'll continue to grow back. For weeks and weeks and weeks. And so you just get collard greens, like bushels and bushels of collard greens off of like 10 plants.
Wow.
Yeah, so that would be a good thing to put in your yard, and you don't really need much space for that. You can put them in like a little, like a 3x5 space.
Cause see, we have wildlife in the back of our house that I'm sure would come. We have like coyotes, and I've actually seen a deer in
Atlanta. It's some coyotes.
What? Yes, roll up on you, okay? For real. Now they're not harmful. We have literally like neighborhood coyotes. Like they'll roll up on you, but they're not aggressive or anything like that. Not that I've gotten so close, but yeah, we have coyotes because there's a I can't see it, but it's a stream that is behind my house.
Okay.
And so yeah. So I'm sure we have like lots of squirrels. So I want to just get a fence, so just to make sure that.
Can I tell you something? I don't care what kind of fence you get, they're coming.
They're coming.
They're coming. They're going to come. Like they don't care nothing about your fence.
Like you said, I'm trying to protect the coyotes, but the birds gonna come and snipe me.
Exactly. And the coyotes, they're probably gonna still get it. They're gonna be like, oh, look, now she grew up.
Right.
But no, I live right inner city, so I don't. Well, we do have fox right downtown and squirrels, but some of my friends who live slightly out of the city, they just grow food closer to the tree line, and so the animals feel like that's for them. So that they literally just put a few extra things and grow it away from the house, and then they just do that, and they might not come. They might not come get your stuff.
Gotcha. So I'm actually gonna try that. Now, is it as far as like, does it matter like what kind of seed you get, or just basically any type of seed?
So you need to figure out what zone you're in to grow the right thing and make sure you're growing it at the right time.
Okay.
So, the easiest way to do that is literally to just go to Google and put your zip code and put like growing zone, and then you'll know what zone you're in, and then you can go. What I suggest is going to like Ace Hardware or Menards or wherever they sell seeds at, and when you go to the little seed section, you can look at it. Every little pack of seeds has a zone planting guide on the back of it. So once you know your zone, you can be like, okay, great, I'm in 7B, and so 7B these kind of cucumbers grow from March to whatever, and it'll tell you exactly when to plant it. when to start it indoors or whether you're going to try to plant it directly into the ground. But it tells you literally on the pack of seeds. You just got to know your zone.
Wow. 45 years old. That's up to date old. Knowing about
where were you at when we was at the bottom picking watermelon? You were somewhere getting eyelashes together because they've been together a long time. We were at that.
Listen, I've never heard that before. Like ever. Never.
Well, I promise it's literally on there and it is that simple.
Wow. Okay. Listen. I'm gonna do that. I'm making a point to do that.
I'm actually coming. I'm coming to see Kellye's garden. I'm gonna be down there with bells on. I want to see it. I'll die. I want to see it anyway.
I really it really is something that I want to do, that I've wanted to do, but I just haven't because we didn't have a fence. So maybe it's I'm gonna try it out this week.
But even without your fence, like I said, it can be discouraging sometimes, like when you start like something really big and like it doesn't pan out. So it may be more encouraging to do a few things in containers and then, get your feet wet. And then be like, okay, now I'm going to tell my husband to buy me some $300 garden boots. Because you got to look good when you do it now. So you got to get some
right.
I told my husband, I want some boots. Some good boots. He was like, the $50? No, not the boots. The real ones. So once he bought some garden boots, girl, then I really had to garden.
Wow.
So just maybe try some containers and then get a big old.
So what's next? I know you said that you are going to be in your local grocer. So what are some of the stores, the type of stores that we're going to see?
We're going to see. So I'm going to be immediately in Value Market. And so that is kind of like a Food Lion.
Okay.
If you people know what that is. And then also there is a strand of stores here called Paul's Market. So they're independent local grocery stores, and there are a lot of them. So I'll be there. And back at home, I haven't figured it out yet. So I can't announce it yet, I figured it out. But if you think of all of those small local stores that are franchised out, I'm going to try to be in every one of them. So come to a store near you. Until then, I'm online. I'm on my own website. People to order through, and I can ship anywhere. And then I'm going to be at several farmers markets, and I have several events that will just be happening everywhere. I need to come to Atlanta. Yeah. I need to come to Atlanta. So I need to find an event to come to and be there.
Listen, you talking to the event planner. We can create your event. Look, we don't have to find nothing. Look.
Hey, girl. Well, we might need to make one.
Yeah.
So the more people that want my products, it's not just the jars. So like you said, you don't really want a green bean. So I sell chest pie and key lime pie and all of these things in the bakery department. I also sell chicken and dressing in the freezer section, girl. Chicken and dressing.
Is it the down home recipe? Don't tell me that. Don't listen.
That's the only recipe I know.
Don't tell me that.
That's the only one I know.
Yikes.
I gotta get that in Atlanta because nobody cooks chicken and dressing like my family cooks chicken dressing.
Man.
I just don't.
Woo. Wow. With my mouth watering this thing.
I gotta get down there. I gotta get everywhere. But no, I'm trying to grow slowly but surely. But if there are any local businesses that may have like charcuterie businesses or stuff like that, like I'm also making products for people to carry in their space. So one thing I'm doing right now is designing jams and butters and spreads specifically to go into charcuterie shops. So I won't sell them, but they'll just have them with their product.
Yeah.
I'm doing things like that too. Wedding gifts, like, this makes a perfect little wedding gift. All that. You know what we do. You know what we do for the catering part. So all that too.
Wow, that's awesome. I'm so proud of you. And I'm trying to, are you
40 yet? Girl, no. I ain't gonna
I didn't think so.
Girl, I ain't gonna get no Social Security. I ain't nowhere close. It's gonna be no dried up. Uh, I am 32. So I have a lot going on, but like my girl said, ain't got no time.
Ain't got nothing time. Okay. I am not mad at that. Okay, so real quick, what is your website and how can the people contact you?
Okay, so my website is gardengirlfoods with an S.com. That's gardengirlfoods.com. Hashtag on all social media is hashtag gardengirlfoods. So I make that very easy. And you can see all my products online. You can also find all my contact information. I can ship anywhere, and I can also design products for you should you need something special like peach bourbon butter. Is what I'm working on designing.
Some of that with you now. That sounds so good. Jeez,
I know.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, but it's not just green beans no more.
I know, right? So, what are some of your favorite things to can? Do you have a favorite?
My favorite thing to eat out of a can is peach cobbler filling. Because we take fresh peaches and we put all the love in it. So you literally open that jar, pour it in the crust, put a crust on top, and it makes like Granny's peach cobbler in like 10 minutes. So that's my favorite item. But my number one selling item is the collard greens with the smoked turkey in them because who wants to do all this work cooking greens? Right. You don't. So, and then followed by derby butter and peach butter. People, they like derby pie, period. They like bourbon, they like chocolate, and they like peach butter because it's like peach cobbler in a jar, but it's like in a spread for a biscuit.
Yeah. Wow. So do you have any events coming up as far as, back in Springfield or Tennessee? Are you still doing any business or any I know, because of COVID events have kind of slowed down. So anything going on back there or any plans to do anything back there?
Not yet. I'm kind of trying to wait and see what COVID is going to do. I'm totally open. So if people are already planning events and they would like me to come, I'm not opposed to signing up to coming. I just haven't planned to do anything. Our storefront will be having its grand opening right around Derby time, which is the first weekend of May. So we're opening it the first week of March, but we're actually going to throw a big shindig around the first week of May. So after we get those things under our belt, at that point, I'll be ready to travel to different cities and bring my products with me. So right now, we're just trying to paint the wall, but but we're coming.
That's awesome. So real quick, guys, we have probably about 5 minutes left. So if you have any questions for Whitney, go ahead and put those into the chat. And so I know your daughter is how old?
She's 7.
7 now? Oh, wow.
I know. When they quit.
How is she? Does she like canning as well, or how she?
She likes cooking, and she likes getting the stuff from the farm. So she actually likes picking blackberries and raspberry, But I don't know if she's getting more in the bucket or more in her face. But either way, I'll take it. I'll take it. But yeah, she likes going to the farm. She likes seeing the final product. She likes telling people that my mommy is a food manufacturer. People,
Absolutely.
it rolls off her tongue so effortless.
Okay. I mean, and what an example, both you and your husband are setting for her. Like, she's going to live in a no limit environment. Like, whatever I think, I can do it because my mommy and daddy did it.
Yeah, literally anything. And I think that's been the most impactful part of this whole process is that when I was little, my grandmother used to tell me, you can do anything you want to. And I always thought that everybody's granny told them that, right? But I learned that that's not the case when I got older. Yeah. But I was crazy enough to believe her. Like, I really believed her. And it has made all the difference. Literally, none of this stuff would be happening if I didn't believe my grandmama when she said, Whitney, just if you want to do it, just do it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something simple. Like I hope that we all are encouraging our kids to just do whatever it is that y'all want to do, no matter what it sounds like.
Yes.
You know, I tell people, oh, I'm going to be the next Black Campbell. And they're like, you're going to do what? And sure enough,
okay, yeah, let's, you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
sure enough. I mean, sure enough, I told my daddy when I was little I was going to be the black market steward. And he laughed at me. I still remember how hard my daddy laughed. He laughed, I laughed. It wasn't even funny, but I laughed anyway because he laughed that hard. But he asked me like a few months back, like, you remember you told me you was gonna be the black market steward? I was like, yeah. He was like, well, you almost said you real close.
Marcus still gonna try to be like Whitney. Now how about this?
All I need is a shout, baby, and this is gonna be a wrap.
Your husband can be Snoop Dogg.
We got this.
Well, if we don't have any questions, I'm just scanning real quick just to make sure I didn't miss anything. Doesn't look like it. But thank you so much, Whitney. This has been so much fun talking to you. Look, your mom chiming in. Hey, Penny. So for those who don't know, that's Whitney's mom, sweet as pie, one of the sweetest people I know. So who's this? Look, now the family want to show up at the end.
Thank you, Jamaica.
So if there are no questions, we're gonna just let Whitney have the last say, and then we're gonna pray us out of here. But thank you all so much for tuning in with us on tonight. We are kicking our business week off with a bang. So anything closing or that you want to say, just whatever's on your heart to say.
Just in closing, do what's real to you. People ask me every day, how did I start this? And literally, I was just doing what was in my heart. So if you can't figure out what it is that you're supposed to be doing right now, I guarantee you, if you just start doing what feels good in your heart, something will come up, and it will be more than what you ever dreamed of.
Absolutely.
I thank you all for supporting me, because I wouldn't have been able to do half of what I'm doing if my friends and family and their friends and family didn't support me. So thank you.
Look, here's look. I said, one Minnesota family can chime in.
I love you, sis.
So we're going to close out real quick with the prayer. And again, thank you all so much for joining us. All hearts and minds clear. Father God, we thank you so much for this day that you have blessed us to see. Thank you, God, for allowing us to rise and see this day that we've never seen before and that we will never see again. Thank you so much for our sister Whitney, availing us her time and knowledge and energy, Father God. And we thank you for everything that you are doing in her life right now. We pray for continued increase, continued favor to all that she approaches, Lord God. You know what you have put in her heart, the big dreams and the big visions that you have put in her heart, Lord God. And we are just touching and agreeing right now that everything that she puts her hands to, it will manifest, Father. We just will be mindful to give you all the glory, all the praise, and all the honor for it. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Thank you so much, Whitney. Thank you all for tuning in on tonight, and we will see you all back here at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time with Miss Jasmine D. Millhouse and Miss Lakeisha Dixon, the Breakthrough Strategist. You don't want to miss it. Thank you all. Have a good night.